She's run into a mailbox. She's taken her mirror off, running into the gate. What else have you done?
Is that the one that blew up on the side of the road?
No, that was the second car.
She's had 3 cars. That's sad.
My brain's not with it.
Welcome back to episode, 7 of No Simping, Just Pimping. It's actually, no, it's not episode 7. Is it? No? Because I thought yesterday was, you were 6? All right. Episode 7. I already went blank on that. This would be a long one. But I am actually joined on set today with 3 girls. One who is, it kind of is a set. I don't know what you want to call it. But one of them who is my sister. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves just because there's 3 of you. And so you could start left to right, like right to left. It's whatever.
I'm Beatrice.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Jess.
In this episode, we're going to kind of get a different point of view on what a girl's side of simping and pimping is, just because we've got guys that have said everything they have to say. But we have questions lined up that's going to lead to see how they see like relationships come about and everything through a girl's eyes. So before we dig into it, me and her were talking about it earlier, and it's a would you rather question.
Okay.
And the question is, would you rather take a pill that helps you see the future or take a pill that helps you forget the past?
I think it depends on my mood. Like today I just want to forget about the past, but like maybe tomorrow I want to see the future, you know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
I think I'd like to see my future.
For me, I don't want to like forget the past because I learned from the past.
That's true.
Yeah, I want to see the future. I don't want to make the same mistakes over again.
Yeah. Plus, if I see into the future and I can see that I'm doing something wrong, I'll fix it now. So, like, then it's not.
I'm the only negative one here, apparently.
I don't think it's negative.
It's not it's not necessarily negative. So, getting into this, I kind of want to hear what your guys' definition, like, so is it possible for a girl to be simping in a way?
Yes.
Very, like...
Yes.
She had no hesitation to that answer at all. It was very quick. So if you go on a first date with a guy, so you go on a date with somebody, what is the ideal, like what is like cheesy when it comes to dating, and what is like a realistic first date?
Oh gosh, I haven't been on a date in a long time. I don't know.
I've always just enjoyed like driving around getting like ice cream or something, so there's like not a whole lot of pressure, just kind of being yourself, and you guys get to talk and listen to music and just hang out.
Not making big extravagant plans is a good first move, because you don't want to do something that's going to have to commit to a lot of time, so that if the vibe's not there, you don't have to then commit to spending the rest of that time with that person.
Yeah, I think the first date's more about like being comfortable and like seeing if you can be comfortable with that person.
That makes sense. They all have the same answer. See,
Yeah,
I feel like
just,
girls
be
all think the same way.
Yeah.
All guys are different. All girls think the same way, I
You just
swear.
want to like scope them out, like see what's up.
So if you're on the first date, what's like a red flag? As soon as, like, what is something that if they do, it's an instant like turn off for you? It's like not happening.
If they read the menu with their finger under every word.
You're making fun of this man's eyesight now.
I'm making fun of his reading ability.
I think my big one is probably, I feel like it's so textbook, but I feel like if they're mean or rude to someone that is in a service position, so like if you go to a restaurant and they're rude to the waiter, that's like a big no-go for me.
I think I'd have to say if they constantly just bring up, like, I know you're supposed to, like, talk about yourself in, like, on, like, a first date, but if they, like, won't let you get a word in, because they're like, oh, yeah, I've totally been in that situation, and they just ramble on and on and on and on and on. It's like...
Or if they're a one-upper.
Yes.
And it's like any one little thing that you have to say, they also have something to say about that relates back to themselves.
Yeah, like they did it, but they did it better. Like they did more. Stuff like that.
That makes anybody mad.
I hate that shit.
So if you flip that around, if you're on the first date, what's something that like if a guy does it, like it's like attractive? Like
Just
if it
like
flips
how-
it, so if like flip it around, so instead of a red flag, it's something that's like whoa.
So if he has confidence in himself and like what he's saying or doing, but there's like a level, like it can cap out.
She's the married one, and she's having to think about
like it can cap out. Does that make sense?
I'm just
Yeah,
thinking of my
like-
first date with my husband.
Oh jeez.
Oh no. I don't just like the little things. Like just being like, hey, like how was your day? Like, you know, like little things like that, or like something like as silly as like opening the door, or like shutting the door, like just little things like that. Like I'm not asking you to pay for the dinner or anything, but like just little things mean a lot.
So if he doesn't pick up the ticket on the first date, is that like if you're on a date and they're like separate or together and he goes separate, are you like
I don't think that's a big deal.
I'm a strong,
honestly.
independent woman. I don't need nobody to pay my dinner bill.
It's also like the first date, so I feel like that's a like.
It's less awkward, like I feel like if they pay for the first date, because then you're not, like, you don't feel obligated to be like, you know, if things don't go right, like, you don't feel obligated to, like, pay them back in some way.
what if they asked you to pay the bill?
If they asked me on the date and then asked me to pay the bill, I feel like I'd be like,
Freeloader.
what?
Like
Um,
I feel like if we don't
Yes,
expect
you
them
can
to
do
pay
it.
the bill for both of us, it should be returned. Like they shouldn't expect us to pay the bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Right.
from my point of view, if I ask them on a date, like if I ask my husband, I'm like, hey, do you want to like go do this with me? Like I pay, like no big deal. And when he like asks me to go do stuff, he usually pays. Like I don't know,
That
kind of
makes
50-50.
sense.
Like
No, that makes
who
sense.
asks for it pays it. I
So
guess.
when it comes to best way I can say this is, so like for me, when it comes to like dating for me, she knows this more than anybody, obviously, because she grew up with me. For me, my family's opinion on a girl is a huge thing. Like if I bring a girl home and Bailey's like, I don't like her, I mean, I don't instantly just cut them off, but it's something that sits in the back of my head, and I think about, like, I kind of see it through their eyes kind of thing. If a guy is like a mama's boy, like not even like a full mama's boy, like if he doesn't like mama's boy can be two things. You had a better definition
Yeah.
of what I could say than, but
Well, I explained it earlier as there are two types of mama's boys. There's the mama's boy that like respects their mother, like wants to help them out as much as they can. And then there's the mama's boys that just let their moms like control their lives, and basically they're in the relationship.
her face said
with
everything
them. Yeah, so like there's a fine line with the mama's boys. Like it goes one way or the other. You just have to be able to tell.
Something that our mom has always said to me is watch how he treats his mom, because that's how he'll treat you. And I think that that's a really good way to look at it, because if he's disrespectful and, you know, just doesn't really care. Thank you. If he's disrespectful and just doesn't really care about what his mom has to say, I feel like that's a good indicator of how he would treat you once he gets comfortable.
But also, I think that's kind of circumstantial, because, like, some kids don't have the best relationships with their moms for a reason, and, like, they might treat their mothers like that for a reason, I guess. Like, I don't know how to say that, but, like, they don't suck up to their moms because they haven't been the best.
Well, and I understand that, but there's
Like,
also
yeah.
a big difference between just like showing your mom basic level of respect.
And, like, being,
Oh,
like,
and being a-
civil.
yeah,
and then
yeah.
just
Like,
being just a
There's
nice
being
person.
civil, and then there's just being,
But
family. Yeah. Beep.
what is okay? So, what is something that like would make? He's like, he tried to hold it in, so
I
he
couldn't
really
think of a
tried.
family-friendly word.
When it comes to like, I don't know, genre, like, it wouldn't be like, the only way I can think of it is like genre, like music is like the best way I can think of it. But like, and boy style, so like there's skater boy, like an athletic kid, there's e-boy, there's, I don't even know, e-boy and goth kind of go together, but like, what is like the type of boy that you would like chase more than
You're
anything?
asking what our type is.
Yeah, kind of. Like,
What our genre
pretty
of
much
men is.
genre of men. Yeah, sure. That's the best way I could come up with it. But like,
Honestly, I've dated just about every genre, and it's not just shut up.
that was great. She used it. Yes.
But
Made me
it's
feel
just
less
like,
dumb. Thank
but
you.
it's just like, if the vibe is right, if they're a good person, if I can connect with them, like, if I like being around them, then I'm just like, okay, I don't care what you're into. Like, I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy spending time with you.
I think I look for like characteristics more than I think of like a genre of man. Yeah, like I don't
That's
consider
like
like
the
a
new
certain
word now. I love
type
it.
of man, but like if they like have certain like characteristics or hobbies or whatever that are similar to mine, then those are the type of guys that I would prefer over people that are like complete opposites.
Yes.
But also with the genres, I was like, the genre. I was like, if they have different interests than I do, I'm like, hey, I have like the potential to like learn a new skill, like learn something new, try something different, some stuff like that. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I'm processing. You guys are slow, all right? Gosh. So, going like into the type of boy you chase, I've seen it a lot. Me and Nick were actually talking about it in the car today because it's all over TikTok and whatnot, and it's like, you just like looked over there, just locked back in real fast. Height. When it comes to a boy, all these girls are saying 6 foot and up, 6'2" and up. What is like, describe that to me? Because I know Bailey's gets made fun of because she's the short one of the family. Is something that like, does the guy have to be over 6 foot, or does he just have to be taller than you?
No, I mean, I've kind of gotten to a point where it's like height isn't super important. I would prefer that he be at least a little bit taller than I am. But at the same time, it's not like
She's got a wicked
her
grin on her
husband is like
face.
6'2", 6'3".
6'3".
He's tall.
He's like
I
a
just-
foot taller than
yeah.
me, so.
I mean, I'm not one of those girls that's like, oh, you're not 6 foot. Bye. Like, you don't have to be 6 foot. It's okay. As long as, I mean, I would prefer that you're a little bit taller than me. But you don't have to be like a certain, you don't have to be
I don't think I could date a girl that's taller than me.
Yeah, I mean, like, it wasn't a standard for me. Like, I wasn't looking, oh, tallest dude in the room. Yeah, you. Like, I wasn't
That's not the
doing-
genre you're
I
into.
No, I'm not into tall men specifically. But, like, it just happened to turn out that way.
I kind of wanted to, going off course of like, wait, you didn't answer the question?
interested in it.
Oh,
Do
answer
you know
the question.
how hard
Don't
it
be
is to
quiet.
find somebody shorter than I am? I'm the shortest one in the room.
That's
That's
true.
probably
I
the
really,
best.
yeah, it's not applicable. Like a solid, like 5'1", like maybe 5'2" on a good day, depending on the shoes I'm wearing.
So the guy's over 5'5".
Solid chance.
He's still like 3-4 inches taller than I am. I don't really see a problem.
Well, what I told him is I told him today, I was like, all these girls are saying 6'3" and up. Trust me, there's not enough 6'3" and up guys in the world to cover every girl. Some of y'all are going to end up single for the rest of your life. Shut up, Mr. 6'4". It's not fair, all right? I'm 5'10". Leave me alone.
I still feel like it gets to like a point where it's like, depending on how short you are, trying to date someone that tall, there's some awkward circumstances. Like, it's just like, it leads to awkward interactions sometimes.
Sometimes it's a little bit comical between me and my husband because he's so much taller. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm a child. So that's what I feel like standing next to him. I'm like,
knife. No.
I love that video.
no. Okay, anyways.
Oh my gosh.
So you guys are, say you've dated for like a month or so. That's when like deeper conversation comes into the play. If suddenly he was like, I don't want kids in the future, is that something that like you're like, oh,
Yes.
instantly?
Yes.
What about
Because
you?
I want kids. I want a lot of kids. So
Bailey
someone-
needs children in her life, or else
someone
she's
that-
going to lose it.
someone that is
Honestly.
like, someone that is like firm set and not having children, that's like a big thing for me because it's what I've always wanted, and it's like just something that I want for myself and I want in my life. And so someone that doesn't want that, I'm not going to ask them to change that about themselves, but that just means that that's not the person for me.
See, I'm on the fence about it. When it comes to having kids, I don't know if it's...
I need nieces and nephews.
You have 2 other siblings.
You're gonna have like 12 of your own children. Why do you need
You have one other-
Clearly,
you
her
have
faith
one
in the
other
other two are just not there.
You have one other sibling. Garrett's gonna
Garrett
be...
will get there. Addie
He's-
will also get there. They're just really young, and it's going to take a long time. You're closer.
4 years younger than you.
No, you're not. You're 2
3.
years younger than I am.
3 by grade school, I guess.
We
I was
can't
going
do
off of
math
high
here.
school. I was going off of high school because I was a freshman when you were a senior.
But age-wise, you're only 2 years younger than I am.
Yeah, I forgot I was an older in that book. But I kind of wanted to... We're going to go off course. We probably will end up coming back to the guy talk. But I wanted to go off course a little bit and talk about me and Bailey's siblinghood.
Oh, Lord.
Because there are some stories that go along with this. And I don't know... I'm going to call her out a little bit because Bailey is she goes through sleep talking stages sometimes. We're in the process of moving houses. Our house just sold, and we are in the middle of... We're staying in a hotel. Why are you raising your hand?
How old are you in this story?
Oh, man.
I think I was around 11 or 12, so he would have been about 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so... I like how she raised her hand. It's
I
a
don't know.
podcast. You can say whatever you want.
I don't know. I don't want to interrupt.
But we were sitting in this hotel room, and we're all asleep. So we were laying in bed like sardines because we just got a bed that had 2 queens, and so it was just boom, 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 all 4 of us. Well, Garrett is a sleep talker. Me and Garrett used to share a bed, or a bedroom, not a bed. We shared a bedroom. We had bunk beds. Garrett was on the bottom. I was on top. Garrett would flip around and just absolutely go ham on the wall with his feet at night for no reason. Like, it's almost like he was dreaming and running. They were next door kind of thing, and so she would always hear it, but that's off topic. Anyways, going back to the story.
It's like that doesn't relate to the story.
No, it doesn't. Going back into the hotel story, Garrett starts sleep talking, and I can't remember if it was you. Yeah, it was either you or Addie. One of them said, "I'm hungry," in their sleep.
I said, I'm hungry.
Yep, it was Bailey that said, "I'm hungry." Garrett, out of nowhere, goes, "Today's presentation is cheese balls." Out of nowhere, you hear a bloody murder scream of how old was Addie at the time?
Oh, Addie's 6 years younger than I am, so she was probably around 6 or 7.
You hear a 6-year-old bloody murder scream at like 2 in the morning. What is wrong with you? Bailey bit me! Straight up grabbed her hand in her sleep and tried to take her thumb off with one bite.
Why does this not really surprise me, though?
Well, what's funny is that our dad was like, no, she didn't bite you. She didn't bite you. And my sister is like insisting, yes, she did. It hurts. It hurts. And so he takes her, like in the hotel, how they have those like little spotlights under, like right by the door. He like takes her over there and he's like looking and he goes, holy crap, there's bite marks on her finger. And I was like asleep through the whole thing. I can tell this story only because I was told this story. I slept through
in your sleep.
I slept through the entire thing. I don't know.
She didn't wake
Cannibal
up.
in your sleep.
I guess so. Yeah.
I woke up to the scream, so I remember that part pretty vividly. But me and Bailey growing up, me and Bailey have gotten a lot closer now. Like Bailey basically, I think Bailey knows almost everything about me. There might be a few things that she doesn't know, but she knows.
Oh, she's gonna interrogate you about
No, I
that later.
know,
She'll be like,
she's-
what you were talking about that
she really is
podcast.
going to. She gonna come at me, but me and Bailey used to fight all of the time, like 24/7, and it was over like the stupidest stuff. I'm pretty sure there were days that like I would just peek into her room because my dad refurbished the basement in our old house to where she had like her own little room. She didn't always sleep down there because technically it wasn't to code, and there wasn't a way for her to get out if there was a fire. So like she slept down there every now and then, but it wasn't like a whole lot. But there were days she'd be down there doing her homework or something, sitting on a bed, and I'd just peek my head in there, and it was me and Bailey were those siblings that was like, I'm not touching you, and it was like a very violent siblinghood with us two. But I was also the kid, you can ask my mom. I've been trying to get my mom to come on the podcast. I don't think it's going to happen. But I was that type of kid that for some reason I had like anger issues when I was little. To where I had thrown fits left and right if I didn't get my way. My mom would lock me in the room and you'd just hear me punching the wall. And so me and Bailey would not get along to the point. Did me and you ever like fight for real?
No, because Dad would have knocked your head off if
That's
you hit
true.
me.
Yeah, I guess that's very true. But there was a day I remember this I remember this in detail. It was you and Ashley were downstairs in that basement. I got so mad because I walked down there and for some reason they're having a loogie fight in the basement. I remember it. We had a map on the wall. It was covered all over. It was either loogies or spitballs.
What is a loogie fight?
Were you just spit at each
It's like a
other?
spitball fight.
We were
It
not
was
spitting at each
spitballs
other.
or something because it was all over the wall. I remember Mom getting mad, and I got mad because I got hit by one.
I don't remember this at all.
I remember this like so strongly because I remember walking down there and getting hit in the face with a spitball or whatever it was.
It may have been spitballs, but it definitely was not loogies.
Oh, we're gonna have a problem if it was Louis, baby.
Either way, it was all over the walls. I remember Mom got upset about it, but I remember I got mad because I got hit with one. But yeah,
You probably deserved it.
for what? Literally, with loogies.
Ew.
I'm in the ghetto. Loogie.
Spitball.
God, that would be awful.
I would probably vomit.
I don't remember this.
I do. It didn't last very long because I remember you guys started laughing and I walked upstairs and told Mom on you.
I don't
Oh,
remember
you little
this.
snitch.
Oh man.
I don't remember doing
So you
that.
were the snitch sibling.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not anymore
No,
though.
not
That
anymore.
changes my whole view
Not
of you.
anymore. But when we were younger,
Wow. She's like I used to like you. Like 5 minutes ago we were
no,
friends.
when we
Now
were
you're
younger,
My brother's the snitch sibling.
when
so.
we were younger, he was the sibling that would like. You wouldn't even be doing something entirely bad, and he's like, "I'm telling Mom," and I'm like,
I got to a point though that Addie. I'm pretty sure Addie's the snitch now.
"Oh, Addie's the worst at snitching."
Like as soon as I hit probably by the time we moved out of that house, I think it was to the point. Me and Bailey still weren't necessarily close, but as she was graduating high school, I remember me and her started getting closer. But that was also because people would call me cute in the hallway, and Bailey would be like, "No!" It was like the protective side of my sister came out.
It's because, okay, so I'm a senior in high school. He's coming in as a freshman. He is a cute kid. Like, he was a cute freshman. There were senior girls in my class that I knew that were like, "Is your brother seeing someone? He's really cute." And I'm like, "I will
Predators.
cut your throat out."
Predators.
Predators.
Like, stay away.
Going out to like a 14-year-old. Predators.
There's still
He's
girls.
little.
There's
Leave him
still-
alone.
He's just a child.
A child.
What's worse than
No.
a child? What is that line? What's worse than rape is a child.
Oh no.
You
The
guys
part-
have such a cute like sibling dynamic. Like
It hasn't always been
No, it
cute.
hasn't always
I'm
been
sure
like
it
that.
hasn't, but like it's cute now. Like
Here's a friend. He's cute. We are friends.
Cute friends. I think the only time me and Bailey like.
6 months.
What did you say?
I was like, I don't think I've talked to my brother in 6 months.
I
He
think
was
the.
snitching on me in high school when he was in college. He would see me on people's stories and like call my mom.
Be like,
Oh,
He
he's
stayed
older.
snitching. Yeah, he's older.
Oh, that makes it
It's
worse though.
just
At
me
least I
and
was
him.
the younger brother.
He was like 22 snitching on me when I was like 18.
I
I
think
was like,
the
sir,
last
don't you have
time-
anything better to do?
I think the last time that you snitched on me that I can really remember is when we were coming home from Wednesday night church and we were late because you and Kara,
Oh my gosh, I'm getting a drink.
you and Kara
tell
decided
the
to take
story, I'm
some
getting a
time
drink.
saying goodbye, and so we were gonna be late for curfew,
Yep, I'm walking away.
and I was gonna get in trouble,
What is happening?
and so I was speeding on the interstate. Like, really speeding. Like, I should not have been going 90. But I was going 90 on the interstate. The exit off of the interstate down our dirt road to get home, a state trooper pulls me over. And I was already 2 speeding tickets deep. Like, my dad was going to kill
How
me.
old were you?
17?
Didn't take you long.
No. I was going to be in big trouble. And I, like, roll my window down. This state trooper comes up. And Gavin, of course, already knows about everything with the speeding tickets and how I'm going to get in trouble. We're already running late. And this state
This is
trooper,
my podcast now? I'm the captain now.
this state trooper, you know, just comes up and they're like, you know, license, registration, and proof of insurance, please. So I hand him everything. I hand him my insurance and he goes, this is a month out of date. Do you have a current one? And I was like, I am 5 miles from my house. Can I please call my dad? And like, I'm just like, So the state trooper's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm going to go run your license. I absolutely lost it. My boyfriend at the time was sitting in the passenger seat trying to talk me down, and he's like, it's okay. It's okay. I was like, no, it's not okay. My dad is going to kill me. The state trooper hears me, like, losing my mind, comes up and he's like, I'm just going to let you go. Please don't drive that fast.
Luckiest thing ever, too.
He was like, it's really not safe. I'm going to let you go with just a warning, like, but please, like, don't do that again. And I was like, okay. So I managed, in the 3-minute drive that it took us to get from where we were on the interstate to our house, I managed to pull myself together. Everything was fine. We walk upstairs,
Wait,
and my dad...
How old was I again?
Oh, 15.
Oh.
15, 16.
I thought I was 14.
Our living room is upstairs in our house. We come up the stairs and my dad is like, you guys are late. And I was like, I know, I'm really sorry. Gavin loses it. Starts bawling hysterically. And my dad looks at me.
Why are you crying?
I don't know.
My
At this
dad
point,
looks at
she's
me.
just calling me out, and I love it.
My dad looks at me and he goes, and then he looks back at Gavin and Gavin goes, Bailey got pulled over for speeding! And I was like, ready to shove him down the stairs. I was like, and my dad looks at me with this look. It's like the scary dad look that
Dude,
nobody
my dad-
wants to get.
Oh, I got a story for that.
Oh.
You keep telling the
I
story.
have a story for that too.
That's the last time I remember you snitching on me.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think I... After that night is like me and Bailey got a little closer, almost.
I was mad at you for a few days.
Oh, yeah, she didn't talk to me.
I was grounded. I lost my car keys for a week.
I had a state trooper snitch on me to my mom that I got a ticket.
Wow.
I was 18.
Did he know
We
your
got,
mom?
Like, yes.
Like, personally?
No, they went to CrossFit together.
Oh, so
He wasn't even. He wasn't even the state trooper that pulled me over. It was a different state
So he went
trooper,
out of his
and
way
he
to see if
told
you got a ticket.
This guy named Jake, he told him, and Jake told my mom, and I was going like probably like 90 on the highway trying to get home to get some papers that I forgot for school during my lunch break. So I was like hauling, trying to get home, trying to get these papers so I didn't get a 0 in this class. State trooper flipped around, pulled me over. I realized I also didn't have registration at the time.
Oh.
Because I thought my dad paid it and my dad thought I paid it. Yeah, it was just weird. But he was like, okay, so I'm just going to give you a ticket for the speeding and get your registration taken care of. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I was 18 at the time. So I was like, okay, I can just take care of it. My parents don't ever need to know about it. It's fine. I don't need to disappoint them anymore. But ended up, I came home. I think it was after like track practice or something. Yeah, track practice. I came home after track practice. I said that like 6 times. Came home, Mom was like, so tell your dad what you did. And I was like, what?
What do you mean?
And I was like, what do you mean? What did I do? And she's like, you got a speeding ticket today. And I was like, did I now? Interesting. First I've heard of it. Tried to play it completely cool. I was like, speeding ticket? What speeding ticket? She's like, Jake told me. And I'm like, dang it. Okay, I'll pay it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
So I'm a 20-year-old that drives a sports car. She used to have a sports car, so she knows that insurance and everything is not cheap, especially if you get tickets. I used to have bragging rights on Bailey for not having tickets. Bailey was also very hard on her first car. She's run into a mailbox. She's taken her mirror off, running into the gate. What else have you done?
Is that the one that blew up on the side of the road?
No, that was the second car.
She's had 3 cars.
The first one also nosedived right into a ditch.
I've done that.
Yeah.
The only one that she actually took care of and then it just gave out on her was
The second one.
yeah, and that one caught fire on the interstate. So
Yeah, we were having that conversation the
that's
other day
nice.
whenever we were talking about my car troubles.
Yeah, Pete
But-
the Saturn.
May he rest in peace.
Dude,
But-
Charlie the Mustang, rest in peace.
yeah, we were talking about her car accidents earlier, but I had never gotten a speeding ticket.
I don't know if Dad knows that my
them.
Mazda was nosed first in a ditch.
Well, he's about to, I guess.
Oopsies.
I literally just had bought the car. Like, it was being shipped to me from Iowa. I just bought the car. The car was supposed to get there that night.
Is this your Camaro?
Yes. This is the day I bought my Camaro came from Iowa.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Continue.
But I just bought the car. It's coming from Iowa. I'm still in my truck. I'm driving my truck. I had to go to a band practice because we were doing a new song on that next Wednesday night. I'm on my way home. There's a speed limit change going out of a place called Maze, close to where we live, 45 to a 55. Well, there was a cop. He had been sitting down inside of the ditch.
Maze cops are sneaky.
Dude, they are. His car was like perfectly level with the field. Like the top
those
of
are
his
the
car.
worst because then you can't see anything.
I literally, like,
Until
he
you
was
see
hiding
the
behind
light.
trees.
Until
and
you see the
everything.
lights behind you, and then
Yeah,
you're
like,
like,
he was-
oh my god.
He was sneaky. And it was at the end of the month. I probably could have got away with it, but it was at the end of the month. I passed the 55 mile an hour sign going 55. Like, I had
Just
speed up
kiss, Gavin.
and went by the sign going 55. Out of nowhere, I see headlights turn on in the ditch. And he follows me for a solid 5 minutes. I was like, maybe he's going to let me go. No. Right as I'm about to go out of Maze into, like, the Wichita line to where he wouldn't be able to pull me over, he stops me. He comes up and goes, I got you going 10 miles over, but I'm going to make it, like, 8 or something stupid.
Because then it's like a lesser, like,
Yeah. And I
I've
was
heard
like-
that
I
before
was
too.
like-
Much.
I hate it when they follow you that long. It's like, you know you're going to pull me over, just pull me over.
Well, the worst
Don't
part
give me
was
the
the fact that,
anxiety
like,
for it.
he did it worse for himself because when he came up to the window, he goes, I got you going 10. I'm going to mark it down to 8 for you. And he goes, it happens all the time. And he goes, you're actually a really good driver. Your record's clean. I'm like, so why am I not getting a warning? I was like, why is everybody else in this world that's going 20 miles an hour over the speed limit or 30 even getting away with it? But I get one for going 10. And it was because I was passing the sign going it. I was mad that night because then my insurance wanted to go up. It was a $175 ticket.
The first speeding ticket that I got was in Maze. I was only going 5 over. And
See,
I
I've never
didn't
been pulled
know
over
I
for
was
that.
going 5 over because all of
I
the
don't even count 5 over speeding.
the speed limit.
I just
signs
drive that all the
normal.
time.
I don't think anybody does,
The
really.
speed limit was 45 and I was going 50. And he pulled me over and he goes, you have a clean record, but I'm giving you a ticket. And I'm like, for going 5 miles an hour over in a non-residential area? Okay.
I know Trey and Colton both. The guys that have... Colton was on the second episode. Trey is my co-host who isn't here because we actually ended up shooting this podcast. It's a Saturday night. We shot the one that came out last week on a Friday night. And, yeah, this will be released on, like, the 27th or something. I don't know when it's getting released, honestly. I'd have to look at the calendar. But I completely lost where I was even going with that.
Talking about
Oh,
tickets.
Trey and Colton, or as soon as they turn, is it the 24th? Anyways, Trey and Colton, as soon as they turn 21, want to go to the police academy and try to become police officers. And the first question I'm asking them is, how many tickets do you have to give out in a month? Because I know they have like a certain quota that they have to meet. And so I'm wondering if it's like each cop has to give out so many tickets, or if it's like all together they have to give out as...
It depends on the department.
I gotta
Like,
say, ask the criminal justice major over here.
Oh, I forgot you were doing that.
yes, sir. I got 1 week till graduation. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
She's a
in
big
Colby,
girl
I
over
was
here.
told it was per week. They have to give so many
Yeah, it
tickets
depends
per
on the
week.
department, and then it depends on just like the state too. Like in New York, it like quotas are illegal, so they're not supposed to stick to certain quotas. But then they'll like the officers will get in trouble if they don't do enough, but they don't label it as a quota.
I feel like I'd be
Because
a
quotas are
terrible
like
cop because I'd be too
disproportionate
nice.
targeting of certain individuals.
I wouldn't even be able to argue it. I'd like pull someone over and they wouldn't have registration, and I'd be like, "Well, why don't you have registration?" And they'd be like, "Because I think paying for a car that I already paid for is dumb." And I'm like, "You're right. Okay, have a good night."
We I remember there's one night Bailey was, I don't remember where you were going. You were driving down Webb Road.
Oh,
This is in Wilbur. Wilbur's her little
Yes.
Toyota Sport.
My third car.
Yeah, her third car.
Who is still?
current car.
I would like to say that it is my current car. I have not had a fourth.
Yet. Wilbur's
Wilbur
running
is
out of
hanging
gas
in
here pretty
there.
quick.
Wilbur's hanging in
Yeah.
there.
Knock on
like-
wood.
Yeah,
He makes a funny noise when you start him sometimes, but you know
I
he's
think every car does. That.
he's hanging
They
in
have
there.
Off days.
He's doing well.
So, okay, let me ask you
He's
this.
just old.
Do you,
He's just tired.
like,
Let
from
him out.
growing up
Yes.
with her, I just watching the way that I have learned to drive, how she has learned to drive. I full-heartedly believe most men, not all men, most men are better drivers than women.
Garrett is a terrible driver. That does not count.
I've only rode with him like once.
No, he's terrible.
Oh, okay. Garrett, you're a terrible driver.
Mom
if
has
you're watching the
confirmed.
podcast, you're a terrible
Mom
driver.
has confirmed that Garrett is a worse driver than I am.
I think
That's
it really
that's
depends.
only scary.
Honestly.
Well, I think when
Like I like to think I'm a great driver. Have I driven over a couple curbs and did I hit a pole once? Yes.
You hit a
but
pole? Okay,
at
the
a
pole-
gas
the-
station.
I mean, I can't
the
really
pole's
talk.
not moving and I
When
hit it.
I just had got my permit, or not my permit, like my permit, but I was 16, so I had just been able to start driving anywhere without my parents in the car. My dad goes, "This is the first time I ever drove to Sonic."
I was with you when this happened.
No, you weren't.
Yes,
This-
I was. Or I was working. I was
You were
with
working.
You.
You were.
I was there because you started backing out and your mirror was getting caught on the sign and you were like, "What do I do?" I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I think you were.
You stop the car, you go for it.
I think you were actually working
Crank
that
it.
night. I don't think anybody was in the car with. No, nobody was in the car with me going home because I was sitting there thinking, what am I gonna tell Dad?
R.I.P. to my soul from that job. Gosh.
All right.
Hey, if you guys need suggestions for Sonic drinks, Bailey knows everything in the book. So, but I had pulled in. I learned Sonic, when it comes to Sonic, if you pull into the right sides are almost harder to turn into, and they're more for like smaller cars. And then the left side, if you have a bigger vehicle, you want to pull into the left side because it's easier to back out and pull in. Anyways, I had pulled in, and I pulled in too close to one side. I had taken, this is the first truck I ever owned. My dad handed it down to me because he bought another truck. And he goes, you know what? I will give you your first truck. He gave it to me. Not even a month into having the first truck, there's a scratch about this far and about a quarter wide, like thickness wise, all the way down the side because I backed out and drug my truck across the Sonic sign, backing like a Sonic stall backing out. My dad did not talk to me for 3 days. He was so mad at me.
I've got quite a few marks on Pete the Saturn out there.
His name's Pete.
His name's Pete.
Okay. If a guy, okay, so not even a guy, just in general, if they don't have a name, like if a person doesn't have a name for their car, are they weird?
They're a
Red
serial
flag.
killer.
Red flag.
Is it really?
Yes.
That's a red flag. If
No,
the guy
yes.
doesn't have, I was
Well,
like,
I think
what?
it's weird. Like, I don't know, you
Yeah,
name things.
Everyone names them.
Everyone
So if he
names
names
their
his
car.
if a guy, is it weird for a guy to name his car after a boy?
No.
No.
See, because I have my truck is Big Blue, and then that's Little Red out there. Is
No,
what I
it's
call
just
him. Big
like
Blue and
you
Little
just how
Red.
you feel.
It's how- like,
it's their personality.
It's the personality of the car.
It doesn't
Like
have
it-
to be like a human name. per
Yeah.
se.
It could be, Lil Red or Big Blue or whatever you want. Mine's named after the mechanic that I used because he's the only one that didn't mess up the car whenever he tried to fix it. So he got a namesake.
I don't know why Wilbur has his name. I just
You like that name?
One
'Cause
day
you
I
like
was
the
watching
pig off of
Charlotte's
whatever.
Web,
Yeah, I was gonna
Charlotte-
say.
and I was like, Wilbur, that's cute. That's my car's name. And I just kind of decided one day. It's what?
My car's name is Tammy.
Tammy.
Heck yeah.
Because
Dude.
I feel like that's like a middle-aged like soccer mom car.
Yes.
And so I was just like, yeah,
That's the
suit-
one.
That fits her. It's a Tammy. My Mustang's name was Charlie with an I. It was a girl.
I
Charlie
had a
with an I.
Honda Civic. I named him Eddie.
Going
got
okay.
stolen twice.
This is a question I got here too.
Oh,
this
but back
this
to
gave
the
me an
original
idea.
question.
What?
Are guys better drivers? I think it depends
Oh,
on
yeah,
where
yeah.
they grew up
I think it depends on where they grow up
and where
like
they
just,
learn to drive.
Yeah, and like who they learn to drive from.
Yes.
Makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Why is insurance
'Cause
so
my-
different?
What'd you
Because
say?
So why is insurance so different? Why do girls
Because
have lower
Men's frontal
insurance?
lobe doesn't develop until later in life than females does.
Big brain.
Dumb.
Is that
But
right?
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
because my
No, that's
brother,
actually a proven fact. Like it's been proven.
Yeah, it is.
I just was
Yeah,
But
no.
no, my brother drives like my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I drive like my dad, because that's who taught us to drive. And that's probably why I've been in more wrecks and gotten more tickets.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. This podcast took a turn so hard. I never thought I'd be sitting on a couch with 3 girls talking about cars. Like that blows.
Don't
my
go
mind.
into any more
Especially-
specifics than what we're talking about because I can't help you
Especially like
there.
with my sister.
I know how to change
She's
my
like,
oil.
"Let's go."
I know how to change my oil and change my tire.
Yes, I can
check
check
all
my-
my fluids.
Yes, I can.
I
check
know
my
what the
tire
lights
Okay.
mean.
If a guy, so if you
I
guys get
wrecked
a
my car 4 times, and I was too broke to pay for a mechanic, so I had to learn to fix it myself.
Nice.
So
That's pretty cool, though.
I've
It's a power
rebuilt
move.
my Mustang 3 different times. because I was
It's a
dumb.
power move.
It is a
See, for a
Honestly,
guy,
I was like, I don't need anyone else. I don't want to pay for someone else to do this because it would have been like
Independent woman
$8,000 for
energy.
someone to fix my car one time. I was like, I can do it for less than $2. Yeah, got it.
so I have 2 questions that came off of that whole discussion right there. When it comes to a guy's, I'll say this first. When it comes to the knowledge of a guy, say you're going down the highway, he gets a flat tire. If he doesn't know how to change his tire,
Serial killer.
I feel like that is just something.
if he looks at
I
you and
have a
goes, "I need
story
your
for
help. I don't
this.
know how to change a tire,"
I feel like that's just something
I'm
that
gonna leave him on the
everyone
side of the road.
should know how to do.
I'm just like,
To
sorry,
me,
you're no help to
it's
me.
just
you're no
Okay.
good.
You're gonna get out.
this kind of goes into stereotyping, but like it's like a stereotype for guys to know more about cars than girls, which is not always true because Jess has rebuilt her Mustang.
Which
However,
I could not do.
Well, I grew up with my dad rebuilding
Yes.
like race cars because
and
he
so
drag raced.
it's
so.
not always the case.
Which is
It's
so
not
cool.
always the case.
But I think there are just basic things as a car owner that you need to know how to do, and
And
your oil, your
changing the
tires, and
tire.
knowing what all the lights mean on your little dashboard
and I
are
think
3
that
of
if
them.
I was in a car with a man and we got a flat tire and he's like, I don't know how to do this,
Okay,
it would
wait.
be a
Before
huge,
you guys
like,
continue, I have a story.
oh Lord.
So Nick has a 2012 truck.
Nick is her husband.
Nick is my husband.
Not the Nick that was on the other
No,
week.
no,
Different
that's
Nick.
it. Well,
Not that
Becca
Nick.
came on too,
That's
so
That's
Becca
true.
came on too, so
Different
that kind of
Nick.
clears it up.
Different Nick. They're weirdly similar, but it's fine.
That is very
Anyways,
true.
Yeah, but so he has a truck. He had never gotten a flat tire with his truck. He didn't know how to get his spare from out of underneath his truck.
Don't you just
He texted me and was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? Like, oh god, I don't know how to get it out." Blah blah blah. He had to call his dad.
See, but I think that's a little bit different.
Yeah,
Because
because
if he
It's
knows
a
how
little
But
to
at least he
different.
knows how
And
to.
I was
as
like-
long as he knows how to change the spare once it's out from underneath the truck, I feel like that's
Yeah.
it's fair.
But
It's
if they were
safe,
trying
but-
to like Michael Scott on the side of the road, turn it with something that wasn't supposed to be turned with, I'm like,
Yeah, I was making fun of him
Serial
just a
killer.
little bit.
serial killer.
Because, like, when I was in high school, I would drive on a dirt road going 90 miles an hour to school every day. Because
On
I
a
was,
dirt road?
Yes, because
You
I
were
was-
asking to die.
Because I was
choosing
late.
violence.
Because I was running late, and if I had gotten another late that semester, I would have been a truant, and I would have had to go to court. So I didn't want to. So
they're
I
strict as heck.
So I didn't want to do that. So I was going that fast on a dirt road. I kept getting flat tires from all the nails on this dirt road. So I could use that excuse up to 3 times as long as I had proof of a flat tire. But I got so good at changing my tires. I got a flat one day in the school parking lot. And one of the guys like that went to high school with me was like trying to help. And I was like, okay, can you just move, please?
Like you're
I
in
can
my
do
way.
it faster. I can get home faster if you just get out of the way, please. And he just looked at me and like he looked like he was gonna cry. Cause
He
like
bruised his ego a little bit.
Yeah, because like he thought he was like, oh, big
Man,
macho
big macho
man,
man.
like
Talk about men
helping
with
a little
egos.
girl like change her tire, and I was like, just move, please, God.
SDS.
The other question kind of goes back into like how guys or how girls see guys, because guys obviously don't understand girls at all. At least I don't. I haven't
That's
figured
an
it out.
understatement.
The only reason I know as much as I do is because of her. If I have questions, I'm like, Bailey, what does this mean? She's like, oh, she's thinking this probably. I'm like, I hate that. But
We really aren't as complicated as men think we are.
We're really
I swear
not.
you
They
are.
You guys
things.
overcomplicate things.
I will say that some girls can be more complicated
Yes.
because they choose to be.
Not because
But
that's
on the
just-
base
yeah.
level of a woman, we are not as complicated as you think we are.
See, you know the only thing
I
I
feel
don't
like-
understand is me personally. It's worked multiple times. If I treat a girl terribly, like I just don't care. For some reason, they're attracted to me, and
Daddy
then like
issues.
as soon as
I
like
was just
They-
about to
They think they can fix you. They think they can fix you.
They need a little
because I was gonna
project.
say as soon as like
They're bored.
That-
They want a project.
that just answered my question completely, because it's to the point where like I would be mean, and the first thing they do is they like try to get closer to you, and then as soon as like they get closer to me, I kind of let like the nice side out, and I'd start giving them the time of day, and it's like they disappear.
Yeah,
And
it's
like,
because they were bored. They
Daddy
want a project.
issues.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the question. We were talking about names of cars.
Oh, we're
the
going
name.
back to
We
that.
got so far off.
Yeah, no. It brought me up another question. Does the guy's name, like
For his car?
No, for himself. Like if
Oh,
his actual
his
name
name.
is weird, is that something to you? Is like
Well,
I don't know if I could call you
can't
Cletus the
control
rest of the day.
it.
No,
Like
it's
you
kind
can't
of
really
like-
control it because they didn't name themselves.
Yeah.
But like,
But at the same time, like, there are some names, like, if I hear a name, I'm like,
Cletus.
I'm mentally scarred. I'm mentally scarred from some names.
If you watched Cameron's episode, his name, he had a little, those things they give out at the, like for abortion thingies, the little squishy babies.
oh,
oh
yes.
Yeah, he got one from the state fair, and he
There's-
called it Cletus the fetus.
Planned Parenthood.
yeah, no, I
like
have
those
one of my
little
mom's
tiny-
coworkers' name is
or it's
Cletus,
not
but I
Planned
think it
Parenthood.
fits him perfectly because he has the personality of like a Cletus. He's a very feminine gay man. He's very awesome, but his name's Cletus.
Who is
Cletus.
this?
My mother's coworker.
Ah,
Cletus.
Cletus.
I would say if I found the name weird and I didn't,
You just come up with a nickname for him?
yeah, but if he like hated the nickname and got angry at me for saying it, then I'd be like, it's just be gone, demon. It's
Be gone, thought.
I banished
Go
thee to
away.
hell.
oh my
Anyways,
It's also just one of those things where it's like, as long as you're not already attached to that person, you kind of have like the choice to be like, I don't know if I can get past your name. And it's like, some people might think that that's really shallow, but if like you really just can't get past this
Or
person's
if you had like a
name-
really negative experience with somebody with that name, then you're gonna be like, I'm gonna stay away from them the rest of my life.
yeah, the next time you meet someone with that name, like every time you say it, like it'll just like bring up like icky vibes.
Yeah.
Icky vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Icky vibes.
I didn't like the way that Becca was looking at me when I was saying about names.
I can whip out some weird ass names of guys that you've talked.
She's calling you out. I love it. Boom, roasted. Anyways,
I didn't say that the weird was bad. The weird is not always bad. Unique is sometimes okay.
I just thought it was funny.
fun fact. My
Cletus,
name-
though. Cletus.
I have never actually put my middle name out there because I hate it.
Do you want me
one
to
of
call
my-
it by you right now?
No,
Yes.
well, hang on. You can do it. Just let me finish this story first. For me, the only people that I like to be calling me by my middle name is her, my mom, or like my grandma or someone. Because the only time they call me that
Everybody's
is
out
like,
there.
Oh,
well, the
boy.
big thing is Bailey. What? Call me by my name.
Gavin Colt.
There we go. That right there. That's like my dad, my mom, Bailey. Anytime they see me, that's most of the time how they greet me. So like when I'm not like close
There's
with you.
tones. If he's in trouble, there's the greeting, which is, kind of how I just said it, but then there's like that he's in trouble and the tone is different.
Tone matters.
Tone does matter.
It really does. But it's one of those things like for me, if I don't know you like that, I don't want you calling me my middle name. Like it honestly like makes me so mad to the point it's like go away from me.
I
Like
feel like that's not just you, because I'm the same way. If I don't know you on a personal level, if I'm not comfortable with you calling me by my nickname, do not use my middle name.
which if you think whoa, hold on. I just realized there's so many people that like don't even go by their first name, they go by their middle name.
Mhm. Nobody in this room does that.
No, I don't think so. But we're coming up on the end of this episode. We have been talking for
That
40
was a really abrupt change of pace.
Honestly, yeah.
Sorry, it happens. Welcome to Gavin's brain of ADHD conversation. Ending this episode, I have one more question, and I want you to kind of fit it in with advice that you would give a guy, because it could be different for every girl. Who knows? When it comes to simping and pimping, like our definition of it in the podcast, simping is somebody that doesn't know their self-worth and they don't know, like they're going to go out of their way to change who they are for a girl. When pimping is like, you know what you are, who you are, you're not going to drop your standards for everybody, and you're going to do what you want. When it comes to a girl, what is more attractive? And that in between those two, which would you rather have?
When it comes to a girl or a guy?
When it comes, like, for somebody you're dating, like somebody that you
Okay.
want to date. You're already married, so you can say what your husband is if you want to. But, kind of like, what is, she's like,
ready.
I'm ready. What is, like, kind of throw in some advice for guys that are trying to figure out how to deal with relationships coming up and whatnot.
Do you want to go first? You were
Okay,
really
my
excited.
husband is an absolute simp for me, and I love it. It's my favorite thing ever.
She likes feeling like a queen.
But he's a pimp everywhere else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But for me, he's an absolute little simp. and it's
So
good.
he's like
But
in between.
For guys, read the room.
That's a good. Okay.
If a girl tells you like she just wants to be friends, or if she shows no interest in you, don't try to go out of your way to do stuff for her. Don't try to pressure
Don't
her
be a
into
pick me boy.
It
Yeah.
makes you look strange and it makes us uncomfortable.
Yes, because, like, my friend, she just got out of a little situation with a dude where he was, like, treating her like she was his girlfriend. But she had zero interest in him whatsoever, and it just weirded both of us out, like, because I was living with her at the time, like, it weirded both of us out, and it just made her so uncomfortable. Like, just read the room. If she's interested in you, you'll know.
And
Okay.
if she says she's not interested, then
She's not
leave it at
interested.
that. Like, don't sit here and play the pick me boy game.
Yeah, and if you really, like, don't know if she's interested in you, just ask. Just ask.
Like,
Like,
hey,
she'll
what is
tell
this?
you.
What's going on?
She'll tell you, like, if you ask, like, hey, are you interested in me? Like,
I
does
just
this
want to
have
know where
Do
we
I have a
stand.
shot kind of thing?
Where we
Mhm.
stand.
Yeah.
How's
She'll tell you.
how's the vibe?
Just listen to her.
So what are your two? Like, would you rather have a
Sorry,
simp
I
or a
can't
pimp? No,
answer that
you're
question.
good. That was perfect. I loved it.
Personally, okay, so the advice that I would give, and this is kind of from personal experience, but it's better to be a pimp. And I mean, your definition of
Our
Yeah, your
definition, because
definition.
that's one
Yes,
thing I had
your
to.
Not
definition-
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah,
No,
that's good.
your
definition.
definition of a pimp. It's better to know who you are, what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be completely comfortable with yourself, and this is going to sound so cliche. You have to love yourself before you can love someone else. And so if you're not comfortable
I don't see
with-
that as cliche. That's genuine knowledge.
if you're not comfortable with yourself and who you are, and you're not content or happy living your life and pursuing what you want, then you're not going to be successful in a relationship. And you have to do that for you before you can try and do it for someone else.
Okay. What about you?
Basically the same thing that Bae said. I think it's better to know who you are, know what you want to do, like have your goals kind of set out in mind. And like obviously like goals and stuff can change, but I wouldn't change who you are or what you want to do for the person that you're interested in. Like I don't like, you know, completely abandon who you are, what you want to do, and your goals so that this other person can do what they want to do. Like don't be that person that completely just like follows somebody else and completely abandons who you are. And that's from personal experience.
Don't compromise yourself to try
Yeah.
and please someone else.
Because if they don't like you for you, then they like. then
Why
that-
are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I feel like I should clarify. Nick is not his definition of a simp. Like, he's not, like, lowering stuff.
He
like,
is
changing
Urban
himself.
Dictionary's.
Yes.
He's okay.
He's just loving and needy to me, but everyone else he's...
There's nothing
no
like
simping.
if you ask me, there's nothing if you are in a very healthy relationship. Simping, like if he makes the only thing that for me the biggest definition that I will call you a simp forever if you do it. And this is like my friend group of guys. If we have plans and you ditch my plans because of a non-emergency to go watch a movie with her or something like that, that is something I will make fun of you for, because that is something like you have to be able to do both. You have to be able to be with your friends sometimes, and you have to be able to be away from your girlfriend at times, your wife, whatever it is. Well, wife's a little different because then you're
You
one
know,
together.
yep.
Anyways,
But you still need to be your own individual person.
Exactly.
Like you can't completely submerge yourself 100% into your relationship because then you're going to forget who you are and what you stand for.
right.
It's important to have
It's
a
a
life.
balance.
Yes,
Yes,
it's important to have a life
is a balance.
outside of your relationship. Like your relationship, obviously, it's okay for it to be the major part of your life because you've dedicated yourself to this person, and you want to grow your relationship with this person. But you also need to have a life outside of that
No, yeah,
relationship.
there needs to be a balance between, like, quality time you spend with them, personal time that you just take for yourself, and, like, socializing time. It can be with them, or it can be
Me
without
personally,
them.
I would
Like,
rather be like if I have a girlfriend, I would rather be with her and my friends all at the same time.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
just
I'd
me
rather
And there's
hang out,
nothing
like, with
wrong with
all my
that.
best friends together. That includes my husband. Like,
Which her husband is freaking hilarious. I love the
he
dude.
is, he is.
But
Yeah, like, he's my bestie. Like, I'd rather hang out with him and my friends than, like, just my friends. I don't want to leave them at home. Like, so bad.
we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode. You guys were amazing. This was a perfect. I loved this episode.
You
This was
are,
great.
Yeah.
Don't forget, by the time this is released, which will be on the 24th, I believe that's what you said, 24th. We are drawing the names on the 31st, which is a Monday, the last Monday of this month. Those 2 names will be coming on the podcast for their own 2 podcasts. They will be announced on Instagram. So you have to be following our Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube, and then if you want an extra chance, you can DM us. I don't think I actually told you guys how we do the outro. So basically, I say like our line, and then I say it's been Fitch, and then you guys will say your names, if that makes sense. Cool?
Cool. Are we talking like full names or just?
No, you can just say, yeah, it does that. It's warning me that we're running out of time is what it's doing. But it doesn't have to, it can be like your nickname, your last name, your first name. It's whatever you want to do. Also, before I forget, if you guys have subjects that you want us to bring up on the podcast, or like a would you rather do this or this question, you can email us. The email will be in the description. But other than that, thank you for listening to No Simping, Just Pimping. Remember to keep pimping, don't be simping. It's been Fitch.
I'm Jesselyn Wise.
I'm Bae.
I'm Beatrice.
Thanks for listening.
Wait,
Peace
that's
out.
not even my last name anymore. No, it's not. Wrong last name. I'm Jess Wohlgemuth.